my supplies all ready to go. As you can see, this is a board that I've already covered before, and I'm just recovering it because it was really dirty and yucky and it had stains all over it and stuff. So I needed to change the outside. So I thought I would quickly show you how I make my own custom ironing boards. So first of all, you're going to need a piece of wood, and you're not going to be able to see mine, maybe. No. So you're just going to need a standard piece of wood. In the description, I'll give a couple links or let you know what wood I've got. And then you're going to want to wrap the wood in a batting. I use the all cotton batting. It's great, heat resistant, everything. So wrap it a couple times. Give it some good spongy on there. Your ironing board that you have traditionally is going to be metal and hard, and but most of the covers have batting in them. So you need a little bit of give when you're ironing in buttons and stuff like that. It'll sink down into the batting. So you'll want to wrap your board with batting, and then you will want to staple it. So you cut the batting just larger than the board and then staple it after you wrap it up. This is a stapler that I use. Super simple, easy. It's an easy shot. You load up the staples. It's deep enough to go through all the layers. I don't have a problem with it. I use it all the time. So that's what I use for that. So next you're going to want to wrap your board and your batting with a broadcloth or designer weight duck cloth or something. This is to keep all your layers together. And then just staple it in place. Now, as you can see, I've got the second layer. I found this at maybe a yard sale or a thrift store. It was still in its package. It's a square ironing board cover, and I thought, well, why not? So I went ahead and wrapped that around my board, and now my board is ready to go. So I've got my board. I wrapped the board with batting. Then I wrapped the board again with a duck cloth or designer weight. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything, just something that will hold it. And there's my dog Daisy. And then I did do a second wrap with an iron board cover. So now I'm going to reposition my board, and I've cut my fabric that I'm covering it with just larger, about 3 or 4 inches on each side, larger than the board itself. All right, so now that I've got my board ready to go and my fabric ready to go, I'm just going to start wrapping and stapling my fabric, and then I'll show you how to deal with the corners when we get there. So you're just going to pull up the fabric, and you're going to try to keep it tight. My stapler keeps on popping out, so I might have some issues with this. There we go. And then when we get to the corner, okay, so now we're at the corner, and what we're going to do, you've got a couple options. You can just pull the point in and staple it. And then you can just kind of play with this corner. You do want your corners tight, but we're not going to be able to get them super tight because we still have the opposite side to do. So as you can see, I've got it folded up and over. I can give that a good staple. And then I can fold this one back, give it a good pull, and then staple this. Now, as you can still see the broadcloth that I have underneath, and I just thought, you know, really that protects the furniture that you have underneath that you lay your ironing board on top of. I lay mine on my quilting machine. I lay it on the tables, and if that is not protected from the wood, you're going to scratch your tables, or if you just have the raw batting, it's gonna fall apart. So this the first wrap is really helpful, and then you're going to want to continue with all 4 corners. down, make sure you staple it a couple times, and if your staples pop out, pull them out and then re-staple it. Push your stapler down when you're stapling things too. Okay, now because I have the other opposite side stapled, then I can go ahead and pull pretty tight on these, so it doesn't have puckers on the other side or folds. You want to make sure it is nicely put together on the other side before you start, because it's not fun to sit and pick off staples. And then my last corner. It's got a lot of fabric right there. Okay, I'm going to turn it over, and that is exactly what I want it to look like. So the corners are nice and folded over. Everything's protected on the top. It's a nice padded surface, and then on the back side, everything is covered up. So if you set it on the tables and stuff, it's all protected. This can easily be pulled off if you find that you get like a lot of stains and stuff. This was my other cover, and as you can see, I used it for actually a couple years, and so it was just grungy and yucky. And after looking in the cupboard for a couple minutes, I found that I still had that fabric, which it works just fine. So I know you can use striped fabric and stuff, and use those for registration lines when you're ironing things, but you know, I go for fun and crazy, so there it is. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next week with a new video.